Good morning, everyone. So I'm Kath, and I represent Masy Consultants, and with me are the youth volunteers.
Yeah, my name is Stephen from Indonesia.
And I'm Jetta from Thailand.
So yeah, can we see the slides, please? Thank you. So our program is called Masy Consultants and Cebu for WASH. So WASH is water sanitation and hygiene. And we'd also like to thank our partners, which is the Department of Education, Philippine Society of Sanitary Engineers, and some of the selected barangays in Cebu City. Next slide. So we selected Cebu City because during the early COVID-19 pandemic, it became one of the hotspots in the Philippines. So apart from that, it's a densely populated place. So we selected 4 barangays, or the small towns. These are one of the most prone in terms of communicable diseases and also waterborne diseases outbreak. So during the duration of the program, Cebu province experienced a lot of we call diarrhea outbreaks, cholera, typhoid fever, and many more. So apart from that, that's why we have this program. So we have the community engagement and the educational part of the program to assess in terms of short-term and long-term impacts to make the community self-sufficient. The next slide. So yeah.
Okay, I will continue. So Cebu itself stands for community engagement, empowerment in crisis management, building facilities, and also upskilling locals. So we stand on these 4 outcomes. And on the results of that is the Masy consultants can empower 7 youth volunteers, including Jetta and I. And also from the target of 120, we empower for 452 the WASH professionals, including the teachers in the primary school. So we have like the online and offline training for the teachers, coordinating with the local Department of Education. And then we, from the target of empowering 500 households, we empower 5,403 households and building or refurbish like 31 WASH facilities in Cebu City, Philippines. And for us, as the Young Volunteer itself, we also distribute 100 emergency WASH kits. And if you also know about the disaster that happened in Philippines December 2021, we as the youth volunteers, we never expect and we never want these kits to be used forever. But things change. When Super Typhoon Rai in December 2021 hit Philippines, immediately those kits were used. We distribute 30,000 package of aqua taps, which is the pill to make the water safe and can be drunk by the local participants and residents there. Those are bittersweet moments for us because we never thought that this kind of emergency kits could be used directly a week after we distribute it. And also, we have reached about 231 people through our Facebook and also education material. And finally, we conducted one workshop to teach the locals how to make hand sanitizer and soap for 10 teachers. Next slide by Jetta.
Yes, so the challenges we face, aside from youth volunteer dropping out, which seems to be the theme for every group here, there are 3 main challenges. So the first one is external factors. Of course, we know about COVID, and which makes it hard to communicate, hard to go on the site to distribute or to take care of the community in terms of watch. And then, of course, there's the Typhoon Rai that Stephen mentioned earlier that caused devastation in Cebu City, which aside from hurting the local population and halting projects, is also make like relief effort quite difficult. Like the picture shown shows like trees going on the road and makes it like traversing quite difficult. And so the next one is the mismatch, because like we thought a hybrid format of like cooperation between the youth volunteers and Masy can be mitigated somewhat by coordinating, but from external factors and other unexpected events make it so that there's more on-site work needed. So we really have to thank you, Kath, and also Grace and Ira, who aren't here right now, who were the on-site team who worked very hard to make our the commitments we made to be delivered successfully. And lastly is that our stakeholders, especially the barangays, some of them are very cooperative, but others, maybe they have their own circumstances, but they stop communicating and makes it so that our work cannot continue because we don't know how they're doing and how we can continue supporting them. Yeah, next slide, please.
For the first one, we have the lessons learned. So first is the stakeholder selection. So we tried talking with the barangay level, the small political level, versus the city or like let's say regional level. So based on our experience, it's easier if we tap with the higher levels because they're the one who's doing the implementations of existing memorandum. So it's like we're also helping them with their existing goals. Like they want to impact zero opentification. So, or example for Department of Education, before they will open their class, they need to have this number of toilets because they don't have, or toilets or hand washing area in their schools because they don't have enough facilities. So these facilities that we have, it's perfect for the upcoming face-to-face class because, yeah. And apart from that, they don't have like a refined WASH Ed or WASH education module that is existing on the schools. So it's very timely that we have this WASH, especially now with the pandemic. Yeah. So next.
Okay. For me, what I learned was mainly about crisis management because from the aforementioned problems that we have faced, we learned how to pivot our direction because at first one of our main projects was to make wash facilities, but that became impossible, especially after the typhoon. So we pivoted to get the aqua taps for the community to reduce harm for them. So we learned how to make decisions like in a measured but timely fashion to reduce the most harm and make the most impacted community, and to learn the skills and like the preparation needed to mitigate disaster for not just for this time but for other contexts because climate change and other natural disasters or events that may follow may cause this kind of preparation to be relevant again.
And for me, the lesson learned by me is also about education and training. The first point is about the cooperation between trainers, facilitators, and students because we have hybrid format. We need to learn how to cooperate with local leaders. And the second one is the characterization and contextualization of education material. We use SDGs number 4 and 6 as the benchmark of this education material, and the third one is the integration of learning facilities like the WASH facility that is built in the schools and also the education material. So our sustainability plan will be explained by Kate.
Next slide, please. Yeah. So first we have the sustainability plan, which is the digitalization. So we have the modules. We have 6 modules. So what we're doing now is we'll be putting it in a website. So it's already like, we already have the backbone and we're just talking with our advisory boards and our existing stakeholders. So in addition, since we have the WASH Ed module project launch, which is involving the teachers in Cebu City. So we let them answer the modules, and from there, we reflect and refine what they answer, and that's what we do to integrate it online. So now we already have the details of our first module, and it will be recorded. And this July, we'll also be recording the rest of the modules. And apart from that, so that's where the AYA YBs can come in because they also suggested to have emergency module. So since our module is only for like a basic wash, about water supply, water resources, like that. So it's very important to integrate emergency wash also. And lastly is to strengthen the existing partnerships. So last June, we also have a outreach program with our PSSE, Society of Sanitary Engineers, where we integrate WASH in their existing program, and the teachers from the Department of Education were able to roll out the WASH Ed in their respective schools already. Yeah, so that's it for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. Perhaps our last commentator for today, for this morning's event, I would like to ask Pak Hai to have a word.
Thank you, Alvin. Thank you, team, for the presentation. It's a great presentation, but for your project, it's not just the problem they are addressing in Barangay. It's also problems in many cities in ASEAN, especially. I have seen you have measured and record down all the volunteers as well as the participation from the communities, but perhaps you want to extend expand another way of measuring things, especially the outcome of things. For example, after putting all this wash system and all, how many people or the number of cases of waterborne diseases has reduced, for example. Probably you have not done so, and if you have the data earlier before you start the project, that will be a good measuring tool for you to measure. So when you tell your success story, people will want to know more about the effect on the communities. Right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pak Hai.